Hello, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties this morning. What I was going to do and what I'm still going to do today for this Tuesday assignment is we're actually going to just walk through the Monday assignment real quick to make sure that you understand what's going on with it and what really the goal of it was. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reference the two documents that are here, one of them being the chart and the instructions to talk about the paragraph, and then the actual article that goes with it. Okay. So, again, the overall topic here and what this is all about is the base question of should artifacts be returned to their countries of origin? Okay. Now, what that's saying is if you're an archaeologist and you find a specific artifact, should that artifact belong to you? Should it belong to the country where you found it? Should it belong to the country where it originally, kind of came from if it's coming from a different place? So what we're going to break down with this question is the pro side, which means yes, I agree with this question, and the con side, which means no, I disagree with it. So basically, over on this yes side, this pro side, you're saying yes, I do agree that artifacts should be returned in the case that they're found in some place. They should be returned to whoever they actually belong to. The con side, the no side, is saying no, I don't necessarily believe that artifacts all should be in their countries of origin. And again, there's a lot of reasons for this that we're going to talk about with this article that went with it. Okay, now the big thing is on this, if you notice, there is an introduction here that is essentially what I just told you all. It's asking, should artifacts be returned? And it's saying, if you were an archaeologist and you found a specific artifact, who has pretty much the rights to it? Should it be the country where you found it? Should it be you because you're the one who actually found it? So that's where the argument kind of lies. Okay. So what I'm going to do real quick here with this no and yes side is we're just going to break down the language a little bit because I know that depending on if you read this thing in great detail, it could be a little confusing. So for the yes side, what they start to do is they have a definition about the word repatriate, which just means obviously to restore or kind of to give back. But then right here where it says many artifacts, that's when they actually start getting into the information that you could have added to your pro side. So they say many artifacts have special cultural value for a particular community or nation. When these works are removed from their original cultural setting, they lose their context and the culture loses a part of its history. So I'll stop there. And what they're saying so far is that if you take a particular artifact out of a country, then A, that country has lost part of its history, and B, the meaning or the context of that artifact is kind of lost on other people. So if I find an artifact in a country and I bring it over here, people over here might not necessarily understand what it is or might not really find it that interesting. So they're saying that, yes, they really should be returned because if you take them somewhere else, people might not even care about that artifact. And the people who it belongs to kind of lose part of their own history. Okay. The second part of this, to make it a little more simple, is they talk about the legal basis of finding an artifact. And what they're saying is you could argue sometimes that these artifacts were taken illegally, uh, purchased illegally, dug up illegally, so pretty much they're considered stolen property. So the yes side of the argument again is saying yes, they really should be returned because a lot of these artifacts were not found legally in the first place. Okay, so if I jump back over here to the pro argument side of this chart, you see that sentence one, two, and three are just bullet points or examples that we've just talked about. So, from what I just talked about, make sure that you have three solid arguments for that side. Okay. Now, on the con side, which is the opposite, right? We're saying no to this question, like, no, I don't really think they should be returned. Let's just look at that piece real quick. Okay, we'll look at it real quick. And basically, what they're saying up here is no, they should not be returned because history is very long and it's very messy. And depending on where you found this thing, it might not even be related to the same country that's there right now. So they give you this example of Greek art. And it's saying if you found, let's say, a Greek artifact in Afghanistan, which used to be part of, the Greek Empire. Afghanistan did not exist at the time. Should it go to Greece because it's a Greek artifact? Should it go to Afghanistan because you found it in current day Afghanistan? So, what they're saying with that example is that no, these artifacts really should not necessarily go back to their original country because you might not be able to determine who the original country technically is. Okay. Now, it keeps going down here and it talks about museums down at the bottom a little bit. And what they're also saying is no, you shouldn't necessarily have to give these artifacts back because you could give them to a museum in a different country and then a lot of different people could see it and a lot of people could want to research it on their own, or maybe they find it interesting so they do, some reading of books about that artifact or that culture. So the people on the no side are saying that no, you necessarily don't have to give it back because when other people see it in a museum somewhere else, that might interest them in the culture. Okay. And the last part here, even further, says that museums could even share them. So they could be on long term loans. They could be at a museum for like a year and then move on to another museum for a year and so on and so forth. So that all falls into the no category. Okay. So now jumping back to the chart, you should hopefully from that be able to come up with three solid no sentences. Like, no, I don't think they really should be returned because this, and this. Okay. So that kind of goes part and parcel with the chart piece. At the very bottom, if you did not see, there's a final decision paragraph. And the final decision paragraph is basically saying, what is your actual opinion on the matter? So at the very end here, it says 30 or more words. I just wanted to make sure that you all have a paragraph with these particular notes that says, okay, I land pretty much on this side, and here's my reasons why. I land on the pro side or the con side, and here are my examples of why I think that. Okay, so for the last paragraph here, you really just need to do exactly that. Okay, you really just need to look at it from the perspective of, okay, now I'm actually thinking of my own answer and coming up with my reasons why. Okay, and that really is all that you should have accomplished. I'll get out of this real quick just to kind of give you all the end piece here. But basically, that is what we're accomplishing today for this Tuesday. Okay, so we didn't really have any new information. If you have yet to share your original answers with me, make sure that you do so. But if you made subtle changes or slight changes, don't worry too much about it. Okay. So for today, I think we're good. We just wanted to make sure that on this information, we really touch base. And for now, again, there's nothing to resubmit. And I appreciate you all being patient today for this thing to get out there to you. And be well, stay safe, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye bye.